Hi, fabulous ladies over 40. Ever felt a bit off dealing with low energy and strange changes in your body? Guess what? It might just be perimenopause knocking on your door. You may be neglecting sudden changes in your body because you've been too busy. If that's you, this interview with Jayne Nakata is going to help you because we talked about all the warning signs of the body, mental and emotional changes you might experience during perimenopause that affects all areas of your life. The guest, Jayne Nakata, is an award-winning host of the #1 podcast for international women living in Japan. Jayne shares her personal journey of everything she went through and how she finally came back to her ordinary life in a raw and honest conversation. Get ready for inspiration as Jayne shares her practical tips and strategies to help you navigate the transformative phase of life. Welcome to the Menopause Wonder Show, unlocking the wisdom and secret tips for flourishing during perimenopause. I'm your host, Miyako Hazama, on a mission to unveil expert insights for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Ready to embrace your prime years with ease, more vitality, and joy? Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be on your show, Miyako.
Oh, this is such a pleasure to have you in my show because you are the Kiwi powerhouse.
Kiwi powerhouse.
Award-winning host of #1 podcast for international women living in Japan called The Transformations with Jayne.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm thrilled to have a conversation today with you because I was recently honored to be invited into your podcast. And we talk a lot about all things around perimenopause and menopause.
Mm-hmm.
And since the conversation we had was so honest and so descriptive of the scene or even the pain that many women in this age range are actually having right now, I thought it would be a really great value if you can share all your beautiful transformation you're actually going through.
Yeah, it's another transformation. And
Yes.
I didn't realize for a long time, oh, you are transforming again.
Yeah. The key word you use for your podcast, transformation, really described what life is for. And we want to really connect that with the perimenopause or menopause years. So
Mm-hmm.
could you let us know a little bit more about what you do
Mm-hmm.
and how you help people, and also how this topic is significant for you right now?
Sure. I have lived in Japan for 20 years now. And almost all of that time, I've been living in a place called Fukushima, which is very famous, unfortunately, for not so good reasons. But that's only been in the last 12 years. I've been here since 2000, and I have a family here now, a husband and 2 children, and a dog, and a house, and a whole life that I have built here in Fukushima. And during my various transformation, I realized, oh, wow, I'm so lonely, actually, here in Fukushima. There are not many foreign women around to connect with in person. So I decided to start a podcast. And this was 5 years ago. And so now, as you mentioned in the introduction, the Transformations with Jayne podcast has over 100 episodes. And we connect women throughout Japan who are Japanese women sometimes, but mostly international women who are doing different things and showing that you can enjoy your life in Japan. You don't have to be just an English teacher, even if that's how you came here 20 years ago, like I did. Yes. How we transform through our life here in Japan. And so that's the essence of the show. And through that show, I just have met so many wonderful women all over Japan. And it's been such a great gift to be able to bring that show to my listeners. So that's how I got into podcasting in the first place. But after a while, people came to me and said, could you help me with my podcast? So that has become something that I also do. I actually help other people to create their podcast. And podcasting has been going through quite a boom has become very popular,
Exactly.
maybe also YouTubing, all the things. And a lot of women really struggle to start. Do you know why that would be, Miyako?
Afraid to show up or be known for?
Yeah, afraid to use their voice, afraid to speak up is one thing. Also, they're really busy, practical. Yeah, very busy, already have a full life, but they want to use their voice and they want to speak about things that have not been spoken about, have not been shared. Just like all of those silent voices of the international women in Japan for so long, we didn't have somewhere they could come and speak. So, yeah, and it's quite challenging to put yourself out there to speak up because we've had a
Exactly.
lifetime of being told to be quiet or be a good girl, sit in the corner, don't make trouble. Right? So
Yes.
why would you do that to yourself? And so we go through quite a process to bring these shows out, to bring more voices out. But it's something that I love to do. And I love to help people get through that and become a confident podcaster and share their voice.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your amazing story because until I met you, I didn't know anything about this like community of international women in Japan. And they're sometimes struggling to have more opportunity.
Yes.
Although they have a lot of talent to share with this world, they might think of the small world like becoming like English teacher. And why not? Why not have more voices, share your expertise and whatever, really to serve the world? So that's amazing that you are actually coaching them to open up and it's safe, right?
Yeah, that's what we do. And I think Japan has changed, right? You don't just have to be an English teacher here anymore. You can be anything. I'm a podcaster in Fukushima. Like, I run
Yes.
my business from my office in my house here in Fukushima, and I have customers all over the world, clients who come to me from all over the world. So really, you can do anything now. But if you've never seen it, then it's hard to imagine what's possible. So I love to show these stories of what's possible, even in Japan,
Mhm.
even when you live in the countryside, like Fukushima or
Mm.
Kochi or wherever you live, you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, the internet has brought us another dimension of how we can connect globally. And that's why we connected, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
We still have to connect in person somehow.
Right. So tell me why this topic of perimenopause or menopause relates to you.
Yes, this has been quite a consuming topic for me, especially in the last 6 months. So maybe getting longer and longer, but in the last 2 years, I've really noticed my confidence or the Jane that you see today on this YouTube video, this bubbly, positive person, slowly ebbing away, slowly disappearing and having to really push myself to become this person that you see here on the camera today. Whereas before it was more natural. Of course, I have to learn how to do it a little bit because I'm naturally a very shy, introverted person.
Oh, really?
Naturally, completely introverted. After this, I'll have to go and have a rest because of my feeling worn out from speaking to people. But you can build that muscle, right? But that muscle's not working anymore even though I had built
Wow.
that muscle. And I really had to push myself. And I thought, what's happening here? This is very strange. Also, I used to run 5
Yes.
kilometers, right? And I'm not always been a runner, but after my children were born, I was like, oh, I want to be a healthy, fit mother who can keep up with her children. So I started to run and I started just from zero
Mhm.
just to run. But I couldn't do it anymore. Where's my energy gone? So many things were just, I want to say, ebbing away. It was so very gradual, but yeah, slowly ebbing away. And that was in the last 2 years, right? And then in the last 6 months, everything just went, there was a sort of a major crash happen.
Mhm.
Now that I'm coming out of that, I'm very grateful for that crash because it was my rock bottom situation that helped me to just say, okay, enough is enough. Let's make some serious efforts here to improve your health because it was affecting everything, everything.
So the way you described ebbing, the word ebbing is
Mm.
so beautifully said because many women having that performing at work and doing a fantastic job at home, even like cooking and serving others. And they say that something is not right. And they gradually feel, okay, why am I feeling tired so quickly?
Mm.
And without really noticing, okay, there's something that have changed. Or it's not like that because they are so busy, like you said,
Yeah. Yeah.
busy to do the podcast. The agenda is full.
But somehow you can't get through it like you used to
Right.
be able to. And I
So,
used to be able to do all the
oh,
things and
yes.
be okay and go for a 5 kilometer run. But what's happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you describe me, if you don't mind, about emotional feeling that you asked yourself because you don't feel like yourself going into a little bit of ebbing because many of the listeners are
Yeah.
what
It's
people
important.
watching
Yeah.
are maybe in the subtle stage of what
Mm.
you've already
Mm.
experienced.
Mm. Mm.
And you can take some action of that, noticing that you might be in perimenopause or menopause and that something is changing is a great starting point.
Yeah, it is. And I took a long time for me. Like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't connect it to the perimenopause, right? For a long time. I just thought it was the circumstances in my life that were affecting me. And at
Mhm.
that time, you can remember it was COVID, right? And COVID has
Right.
cast a shadow over so many people's lives and has made things more difficult than they needed to be for a long time.
Exactly.
And I thought it was COVID. I thought it was the fact that we had to move to a different country and back again, and all of these things that were going on in the circumstances of my life, those things I couldn't control. I thought that was why I was lacking energy or feeling more anxious than usual,
Mhm.
or there's so many things were happening in the world, right? And I
Yes.
think that was the same for 99% of the humans on this planet, right? We were all experiencing
Exactly.
this. But then COVID went away. Yeah, in the
Uh-huh.
last 6 months, it's
Mhm.
definitely not an issue that it has been,
Yes.
right? But I still see people saying, I have no energy. Why do I feel like this?
Mm.
You can't blame COVID anymore. So a lot of women are coming to the realization there's something else going on here,
I
right?
see.
I had a rock bottom kind
Oh.
of experience that was so painful and difficult to go through at the time. It was in March, obviously spiraling downwards for quite a while. And then in March, it was just so bad. And so, what does that look like? It looks like I could not get through the day with exhaustion, just feeling
Mhm.
exhausted all day. And my body hurt so
I
badly.
see.
Like
Yes.
when you have a virus and you have those body aches,
Mhm.
I thought I was sick, but hang on, this is going on 2 weeks, 3 weeks, body aching, no joy in my life, even though
That's
I'm doing fun things. I'm doing super fun things.
mm,
It's cherry blossom season in Japan. It's the best season of the year.
yes.
Normally, I would walk around going, oh, wow, that's so beautiful, and looking and noticing all the cherry blossoms and all the daffodils. And really, it's my favorite time of year. I really enjoy it every year. But this year, ah, cherry blossoms. That no joyful feeling
Oh.
to look at cherry blossoms. No, I don't want to go and see cherry blossoms. I just want to sit on the sofa. Even though I had a party to go to, for me, I didn't want to be there. I didn't enjoy myself. I
Mhm.
struggled to have a conversation with people. And I think the most shocking thing was the day I just couldn't speak Japanese.
Oh.
So I speak Japanese reasonably well in my daily life,
Yes.
right? It's very usual for me to have conversations in Japanese every day. And I was at an event and just people were asking me, oh, Jane-san, what do you think
Mhm.
about? And I'd be like, blah, blah, and just some rubbish words. I couldn't make a sentence. I couldn't get my ideas in order to, normally I don't think about what I'm saying. I just speak. What is happening here? Have I got Alzheimer's? Have I got dementia, early
Mhm.
onset dementia? That experience really shocked me, not being able to have a conversation, because 2 days earlier I was okay. I was
Right.
speaking Japanese fine, and suddenly just can't. And watching the people's faces going, "Is she okay?" kind of thing, because they're
Ah.
used to me speaking Japanese. They know I can speak Japanese, but suddenly I'm not making any sense. It was very
Mm.
scary thing to experience. So much anger as well. And
Mm.
I have never experienced this kind of anger coming out. You drivers who can't drive properly and just anything. I was ready to commit violence almost.
Oh,
Luckily,
yes.
nothing
Wow.
happened. Maybe I could have done something. That is how angry I was. I've never been angry
Mm.
like that before in my life. And that was so scary. I felt, wow, I'm out of control here. What if I accidentally hurt someone or shout at someone and I can't undo that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it was getting very scary.
Yes.
And when the color disappeared from the world, then I was really scared.
Color.
Yeah, all the color was gone. Everything just felt so gray.
Oh, you mean the visual?
Yeah. Look,
Oh, monoton.
of course I could see colors, but I didn't experience the colors, right?
Ah.
I'm looking at sakura and cherry blossoms just looks gray. Everything, nothing looks special. Everything just looks gray or feels gray.
Mm.
It's a beautiful sunny day. No, don't experience that. The joy is gone. There's no joy left in the world.
Wow.
Mm.
This is such a shocking experience you
It's
had.
so shocking.
Thank you so much for sharing with vulnerability, because this is not so many women can speak up with, right?
I don't know if everybody has such an intense experience. And
Mhm.
I thought, obviously, I have a voice that I'm using. Let's talk about this so that more people can hear about it.
Yeah.
There's no need to keep this a secret. There's nothing to be ashamed about.
Yes.
But this happens to people. What are you going to do?
Right. What are you going to do? And I personally haven't experienced any perimenopause or menopause symptoms. And that's what I'm grateful about learning of ancient aging secret and the breathing, all these movement of the
Mm,
bodies, of energy work. But what I often hear from the ladies who are going through is exactly like you experience. It's like you are becoming a total different person. And
yeah,
it seems like you are losing a connection with the body, and it's tricky because it's compound effect of maybe the sleeplessness, and it get all these symptoms piled up and have more impact, especially on the mindset about losing confidence physically and even mentally. And like
definitely.
you shared with us, it's okay, am I like aging or am I losing?
I felt like I was 100 years old. I'm 43, just to say some
Yes,
numbers, right?
right.
I'm 43, I think.
Only
Yeah, I think I'm
43,
43.
yes.
So I'm only 43. What is going on with me? I feel so old. I have never felt so. Even when I was much more overweight,
Mhm.
my body weight was more than 80 kilos once in my life. I had more energy than I have today, but with a much smaller body size. What is going on here? I can't do my work. I'm late for everything. I'm showing up the wrong time. I can't calculate how long it takes me to get somewhere, and I'm always arriving late or making the day wrong, or
Mhm.
all of these things are affecting my confidence, right?
Yes.
I can't do my job anymore. I don't even want to talk to my husband because I feel like I'll scream at him
Mhm.
about nothing, about something doesn't matter. I just
Relationship with
had
the
to
family.
go into my little cave for a while there. And then I just was like, okay, we can't keep doing this.
Mhm.
Something has to change here. We need some help.
When have you actually noticed or become aware of that? Okay, I might be like in perimenopause.
I don't know that I can put a name, like a particular date or time when I realized it, but maybe some of senpai friends
Mhm.
were talking about this a little bit. And I was like, oh, hang on. there are 30 something symptoms of perimenopause. Let me go and look at these. Or, oh, you also nearly screamed, or you did scream at someone in public because of perimenopause, because you're so angry and so emotional that you've never been like that in your life. You're the most lovely human person, but you did that. I also feel like that. Maybe this is perimenopause. So,
I see.
yeah, that was not so long ago that I just discovered that through these accidental conversations with friends, right? But I've even noticed in the last 6 months a real uptick in people talking about perimenopause.
Yes.
And
Very
it's
good.
because we're noticing it, I think, because we cannot no longer blame it on COVID, right? More people are speaking up, more people are speaking out, and we have the benefit of wonderful people like Oprah
Mhm.
giving us her story and making it okay to talk about it. That's for the English speaking community. I'm not sure about the Japanese speaking community in Japan if they have someone who speaks freely about this. Yeah, this was also really helping me was to hear more
Yes.
people talking about it, because my mother had said to me many times, "Oh, I never had much trouble with. I sailed through
Really?
perimenopause, menopause." She was actually here when I was going through this really difficult time. And I said to her, "Are you sure? Because I'm really struggling. If you hadn't noticed, I'm really struggling here. And I think it's perimenopause. I'm going to the doctor to get this sorted out. I need some help." And she's like, "Oh, no." And I said, "Do you know any of the symptoms?" And she's hot flashes.
Yes. That's a
I'm like,
famous one.
"Yes, that's the most famous one. There are 30 something others." And she's, "Really?" She didn't know. And so there's like a whole generation, I feel like potentially my mother's age,
Mhm.
kind of age, women who weren't told what they were going through. And in my
Exactly.
mother's case, she was also going through my father's terminal illness at that time.
Uh,
So she was supporting him. And of course, she ignored all of her exhaustion and brain fog and emotional up and down, as if she had any of those. She wouldn't have noticed them as being because of perimenopause. It would have been because of
Exactly.
her outer circumstances as well. And I think that's what happens, right? Women blame it on their outer circumstances. I'm so busy, I have
Yeah.
kids, whatever it is. It's very easy to not notice that, well, actually, because your hormones are changing.
This really makes sense because it's supporting women each other by sharing the story. Here's what happened to me. And you might be that type of casual conversation that you
Mm-mm.
get, okay, maybe I want to check in like my doctor or whatever. And
Mm.
that might help to open up the way how we see ourselves in this really sensitive hormonal change transitional space.
Mm.
And with regard to my mom had a really heavy menopause.
Okay.
So I remember her like turning into 40s
Mm-hmm.
and she changed. She was
Mm.
really outgoing. She
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed life, laughing, but
Mm.
suddenly her appearance changed. She's not smiling anymore. And
Mm.
when I came back from school, she was lying. There's
Yeah.
something wrong with her. She didn't actually share with us what's going on until we grown up. But clearly, my sisters and myself
You
remember
remember.
that that
Mm.
time was like a darkest of years of our family life because if we
Right.
want to go outside like a play, my mom won't be with us. So that's something maybe she knew it was a menopause and she went into all these kind of alternate medicine
Mm-hmm.
that brought her awareness of what's going on. But this
Yeah.
type of sharing the story is so critical and so
Yeah.
important for us to
Yeah.
actually see
Because
ourselves.
you remembered that time all those years later. So it had an
Yes.
effect on you as a child. And see the same thing happening with my family. I'm like, oh my God, my symptoms are really affecting my family. I can't take them to play, or like you just said, I don't have any energy. I cannot deal with their arguing. I can't deal with being a parent. So it's a real struggle. Mm.
Yes. And I love the way you also talked about opera or those big ladies coming out of this and sharing their real stories authentically. And that also helps for us to understand, okay, this is not like only women's issue, but also we need gentlemen's support as well,
Yeah.
right? At
Yeah.
home, we want our husband to do some dishes and cooking or
Hmm.
helping us do the cleaning
Yeah.
because it's real, right?
Yeah. It's real. 50% of the population is going to experience this. The other 50% needs to know what they're dealing with and how they can be helpful.
Exactly.
Mm.
So tell me the time, what have changed you to take some action
Hmm.
as something
Yeah.
that you can deal with?
Yeah. So I got to that point where I was so low that I couldn't do anything to help myself. I had no energy. I was so emotional. I couldn't talk to people, but I just knew I have to do something. So I thought, okay, if I go to a doctor and ask for a blood test and it shows that I have low hormone, as they say, women's
Yes, women's hormone.
hormones in Japan,
Yeah.
in Japan,
Yeah.
surely then they'll have to do something. The doctor will help me. So I went to my gynecologist who they say we help this menopause and
Yes.
it's on their list of things that they specialize in. So I went there, I got the blood test, and I came back and he's, oh, yes, you're very low, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I just want this to be better. Please give me all the drugs because I was so bad. Like I could give you like 20 things that were wrong. And I was so miserable. Like, give me all of the medicine. Can I have an IV now? Hook me up. I just feel so terrible. And he's no. I was like, what? That was very frustrating, but their system is set how they will treat you. And you need to start here and then maybe you work up to doing other things if you need it. So I was really angry. I was like, I don't want your stupid Chinese medicine. I want to feel better today. You know?
I get
Yeah.
it.
Because, Chinese medicine takes time, right? Anyway, I thought, okay, of course I didn't say that, but this I managed to keep myself calm. He gave me Chinese medicine and he gave me also soy isoflavones, which simulate estrogen,
Yes.
which is
They
what
make like
causing the trouble mostly. And I was like, oh, these are not going to work. This is a waste of my time. But I started taking them because I had nothing else I could do right then on that day. And after a week, I was like, oh, I feel better. And especially if you have some like severe hot flashes, yeah, maybe. But for me, after a week, I was like, oh, damn it, I'm feeling better. I had to
wow.
be a little bit
Oh,
humble.
I feel
Um,
really relieved.
yeah,
Yes.
with what I was given by this doctor. So it was working. And just the improvement of feeling better enabled me to do the next thing, which I couldn't do before because I was so low in energy and so angry and upset all the time. So I was like, what else can I do now? Oh, okay. I need to eat better because
Yes.
it was
Wow.
affecting what I was eating. All I wanted to eat was carbohydrates and sugar. I've never experienced cravings like that in my life before for carbohydrates and sugar. Vegetables, bleh. Do not want to eat those horrible things. Like I just felt like I'm like a baby again, right? Like,
Yeah. You told me
you know,
that you don't want to have broccolis.
yeah, like salad. Bleh. I like vegetables. When did I stop liking vegetables? So I was like, okay, let's try with the food because we know that this affects how you feel. And you have
Exactly.
been told that your body does not accept gluten and dairy like it used to now that you're lacking those hormones that help you to be able to eat those foods.
Yes.
So yeah, slowly I started to cut out the sugar and increase some more vegetables, increase water. Slowly, I managed to get to a place where, yeah, now I'm eating much better, much more vegetables, protein, healthy fats,
So
almost no
amazing.
gluten, almost no dairy. Yeah, like just really my energy levels shot up after that happened. So I had a really great result from changing what I was eating, cutting the alcohol. And then I was like, okay, my energy is better. Now I can exercise. And now I have the energy to walk because I was down to just, I'm going to say wobbling around 1 kilometer walk I have a dog. I have to walk him every day. He's waiting. I cannot get out of it. I have to go. He's not going to let me not go for a walk. So I'm so thankful to him. But at the worst of it, I was just like really dizzy and walking and, oh my God, am I going to get home again? And it just 1 kilometer was all I have a loop. It's 1 kilometer. That was all I could manage. And then I'm on the sofa. Oh my God, so tired. And now I can walk 2.5 kilometers and then I'm okay. I'm still okay afterwards. And I feel good too after exercising. It boosts all the things. Right? And I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, from now, I think I can do weight training again. So I used to do kintore, weight training with my free weights in my house. And I had to stop. No energy. But now I feel like I think I can take that next step to build up the lost muscles. Yeah, so that's a thing I'm looking for next. Little challenge, little step forward. Yeah.
What I heard you say describes beautifully about this gradual escalation of your energy. And when you are at the lowest, you see the bottom, at that moment, typically people also say that, okay, I can't do anything.
No, I can't help myself. That's what I felt.
Once you find what works for you, we went to the doctor and he's a really nice doctor. What I heard you say is that because he could escalate doing all these other things, more complicated thing, but he tried to gradually see how your bodies respond with a stimuli that he
Obviously, he sees this a lot.
Right.
I did not want to defer to his knowledge because a Japanese male doctor, what do you know about menopause? Oh my God.
Yes.
Tell me, really angry, kind of emotional person at this time. Don't you tell me how I'm feeling. Yeah. I didn't want to believe that he might know what was best for me. What he gave me helped me, and it helped me to get out of the bottom of the hole where I was.
And then you actually start looking into your lifestyle and how healthy you are eating, and you adjust it, less sugar or carbo, or and then gradually exercise, and then more of the weight training, and that beautiful circulation of your metabolism.
Yeah.
Also support your physical health. So
That's right.
Amazing. And can you share any strategies around your mindset?
Mindsets in the last sort of 7, 8 years, I have always worked on using things like gratitude, watching what I'm paying attention to, being very careful about where is my attention right now? Why am I focusing on this bad news? Or why am I thinking about that conversation from 1 week ago or a 10 years ago conversation? And so I had those skills already before.
Yes.
It was so difficult to use them recently. So difficult, even though I already have a lot of experience with, okay, this is the situation, but how you approach it is your choice, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that when I was in the bottom of my hole that I was in. I was just so angry and emotional. But yeah, I'm grateful I already had that skill. I already know how to meditate. I know how to go into a state of alpha state or something. I know how to calm myself using some breathing technique. I know from my life before perimenopause, I had those skills already. So it was just really difficult to use them because all you want to do is throw a brick through the window. That's what you want to do.
Yes, and we can laugh at this moment.
I'm laughing now, but it was not funny then.
Just imagine yourself in the middle of that hole.
And I was able to view myself like from above, going, what is going on here? This is not you. You have never experienced anything like this before in your life. Something is wrong. We can't put up with this anymore. So let's do something. This is too scary. I think it was just so scary. That was what pushed me to just go to the doctor and say help. It's really scary experiences. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing this with full raw story of what you've been going through, and you are out now. But some of the listener might be feeling this way. And of course, it's not your fault. You are not alone. But just like Jane, who finally found what works for her and she took action, then we can laugh together. I hope
Yeah,
it
we're
will
laughing today.
together,
Yeah.
right? And that I got chills because as much as I hear these stories of the subtle changes of transformational stage or transitional stage, there's something that we can learn by experiencing this kind of totally undesirable state. We thought, okay, what's wrong with them?
Mm,
But it could happen to you. And something like when you see other people suffering in this similar way that you've
mm.
experienced, you might see things differently. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, in one respect, having gone through that, it's very easy for me to spot who is also in that's happening for them now.
Yeah.
And they don't know yet. And I'm getting tingles now saying this, but is this your job now, Jane, is to point out all the people, like just to let them know, hey, I notice you're not I'm just about to cry now because it's so sad, right?
Yeah.
I notice you're not your usual self. Yeah, you're usually
Mhm.
more bubbly or whatever, right? You're not
Yeah.
usual self. You don't usually make a mistake like that. This is a real example. And I was like, are you okay? Is anything going on for you? And they'll say, oh, I'm just have low energy and I
Mhm.
don't know why. But I'm so busy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you about me and I hope it helps you. I'm also experiencing this and it's called perimenopause. And they're like, what's that? I have had many conversations like this recently
Oh.
after coming out of my own. And also, some people said to me, I'm so happy to see you are getting energetic and genki again, right?
Yeah.
Because I really noticed you were down and I didn't know what to say. And I didn't know if I could help. Now that I'm feeling better, I can explain to them, yes, I was, and it was this. By the way, you're maybe going to come to this in the future. Please notice when these things start happening to you. And it's a great conversation starter. I'm thinking maybe more than 10 women I have
Wow.
said this to in the last few months where I've noticed them. I've noticed the change in them. So that's a gift that I can help others now in a little way. It's just to point them in the right direction. This is maybe what's going on for you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to prescribe, say you have to go to your doctor or whatever. But please go and find out more about this thing called perimenopause because not many women know what it is or how it can affect every aspect of your life.
Yes. Yes.
So that's one thing from it.
Yeah.
And for my own self, going through this sort of rebirth, but it feels like that a little bit. It's a major update to the software of my body, whatever's going on in there, right? This is some major transformations are happening. And things that I thought were important, not important anymore. Things that I want to do with my life are changing a little bit. And going into that kind of cocoon stage that I had to let go of some things, right? Because I just couldn't keep juggling all of my balls,
Yes.
right? I had to drop a few or give them to somebody else or just throw it away. I'm not juggling that ball anymore, right? We're not doing that anymore because I couldn't even get through the day. But now I have this not a fresh start, but a lot of things have dropped off from my life. It means new things can come in, which is beautiful. It's a chance for new opportunities or new learnings to come to me, new ways of life. But at the bottom of it, the core learning is that I need to take care of myself or none of this is going to work because you cannot rely on your hormones anymore like you have done for the last 43 years. Women are burning through their lives thanks to this amazing cocktail of hormones that we have in our body that gets us to be able to do this. Can't rely on that anymore. you need to look after yourself now, and you have not done that consistently. But that's not good. That's a strategy that's not going to work for you here on out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
such a deep awareness that coming from your soul, because I got chills.
You got the chills? Yeah.
When I listen to your like
Mhm.
rebirth, and especially how you prioritize things around you, not only your work, but your family, like what's important for you.
Mm.
And when we learn all this self growth, we check mark this kind of question and we do the work, but it's not coming like the awareness that's real to you.
Mm.
And whenever the drastic change is happening to you and you feel it with your own body, then something, okay, what is it that I'm looking here for? So profound. What you initially talked about transformation, but the way I see from my end is that,
Mhm.
okay, you are like shedding your skin
Oh, yeah.
and you're like a
Yeah.
newborn.
Mm.
Jane is reborn. Like that's beautiful image that I see.
Yeah. It's much better than you are drying up and you are becoming an old witch, like image that we have of menopause and perimenopause. So let's rebrand, right? Let's rebrand it as shedding a skin that was useful for the time. It served you well, but it's not going to work here on out. But guess what? This version is going to be amazing too, just different, but you
Mhm.
must look after yourself. Yeah.
Yes. And the way you describe look after yourself, because nobody will do that for you. And for me,
I
it's
can
right.
confirm that nobody will. So you got to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I notice, okay,
Yeah.
I want to help others. I want to do this and this. But okay, who will say stop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because nobody will say, okay, just let rest. No, because I have to notice. I got 60 last December, and I'm
Mm.
really also post menopausal stage. But I feel like, okay, I myself would really take good care of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I will appreciate all this 50 trillion cells that I now have.
Yeah.
It's regenerating and they're allowing me to move and feel and experience. So, okay, all other things that are not important, I can let go. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm.
type of like new awareness. We never know about might lead to longevity that we in
Yeah.
Japan
Right.
population are
Mm-hmm.
enjoying in a
Mm-hmm.
quality way, the high quality.
Yes. High quality. I think I saw something on Instagram where I get a lot of my medical information from some doctors
Mhm.
who are doing great work helping women to understand that, you know, how men typically die earlier than women,
Yes.
typically. Men have a lot of health problems quite early on, and women don't. But once they hit menopause, women really quickly catch up with all of the health
That's a
problems. So it's very intense what we're going through here.
Mhm.
And if you are lucky enough to be someone who doesn't experience these things, that's great. But yeah, what about people who do? Let's help those people get help because so much lost time. I'm grateful that I've had an intense, short experience with this so
Yes.
fast. It's been an
Yes.
intense, short period. It only lasted for a few months that it was really bad till I could start to get out of it again. Is that wasted time? I hope not. I don't think so. Now, at the time, it felt I'm wasting so much time being low energy and hating everything and everything's going badly. But without that, I wouldn't have, where I am today, where I can look back and say, yeah, you can get out of it, right? You're going to be okay. What are you going to do? Mm.
So I want listeners or people who are watching this video take a look at Jane carefully and see how she's glowing, beaming right now. And you can always come back to this state when you actually take some little action for the first step and then
Mm.
gradually allowing yourself to do whatever you feel lighter for you.
Yeah, I just think it's important for people to know you cannot expect yourself to bounce back. It's going to be gradual, but you will notice those improvements. But don't expect to be feeling like your 18-year-old self
Yeah.
after you doing it for 5 minutes. So the me that you see today is 3 or 4 months of very gradual improvements in my health. Yeah.
Right.
And I feel lucky that it only took 3 or 4 months to get back to here. I'm still working on this though, and I would like to see some more improvements. Excuse me, body, you listening? I think we can do a bit better, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and keep refining what's going on, and a bit more, like I said, lifting weights, doing some other things that are going to help get a little bit more. Yeah, today is a good day, but maybe yesterday wasn't, and maybe tomorrow isn't going to be a great day. But it's like the roller coaster is more like this now rather than it was
Wow.
like
Yeah.
this.
So that's great advice. And is there any like last tips or advice you want to share with a lady who might be in this situation that you've experienced?
For me, I found it the hardest thing was to talk to somebody about it. I don't expect you to come and talk to me who might be a stranger, but who is someone who you could talk to about it? Because as soon as I was able to talk, people were like, yeah, go to the doctor. Like, girl, come on. I'll take you. I'll drag you there if I have to. People wanted to help. As soon as I got a little bit of motivation to be able to say to my husband, I'm not well. Have you noticed? Because he didn't want to start that conversation. He was like, why don't you go to the doctor? I'm like, yeah, why don't I? And the reason was because of my other experiences with doctors in my life, not listening to me, or what the hell do you know, that thing that I said before, stopped me from getting help. But my husband said, come on, why don't you go to the doctor? I was like, yeah, probably should. And it sounds silly now, right? But it was at the point where I just couldn't even take myself to the doctor. Yeah. If you are in that place, just think, who could I talk to where I would have a chance to get a little bit of perspective? Yeah, you are suffering. Why are you putting up with this? Because that's what we women do, is put up with stuff, right?
Exactly.
It's such a waste. Don't put up with it anymore. You are valid. You deserve to feel better than you do. You can feel better.
Yeah.
That is my final word. It's silly, right? You deserve to feel better. Of course you do. But when you're in the bottom of that deep hole, you can't have that thought. You don't have that thought. So, yeah, I hope that reaches someone who needs to hear it.
Yes, because you deserve to feel better. And when you really accept that, maybe there's some tears coming out from you.
Totally. Yeah.
Because you haven't allowed yourself to really appreciate that. And you may be the last one on the list.
Totally last one. Are you even on the list? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. Oh, thank you so much for sharing all these. What I see is a profound level of disclosure of what's really going on
I just want to
around
speak
your body
truthfully about it.
and also emotionally, and how you feel, and the strategy that work for you to revive and recover and be on a direction that you want to go to another level, like shedding and rebirth.
Yep.
So tell me, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, if you would like to see how I'm going, because I quite often post about my updates about this on my
Instagram,
That's
yes.
where I like to hang out the most, and you'll see pictures of my very cute dog. My corner of the internet is a nice place to be. If you're feeling a little bit delicate, is the word, but you want somewhere where you can go, please come over and say hi. I'm at Transformations with Jayne, Jayne, on Instagram. and say I heard you on Miyanko's show, whatever. I'd love to chat if that's what you want, or yeah, just come see some cute dogs and some beautiful Japanese countryside scenery. It's what we do.
Amazing. And Jayne is such a beautiful spirit and sharing her real life story and what's possible living in Fukushima and serving
Yeah.
international, global ladies speak up for their voice. That's
Thank you
so
so much, Miyako.
beautiful. And I really respect you and I love you. And I love
Oh,
your
thank
energy.
you. It's been a pleasure to be here on the show with you today, but
Thank
also
you.
to get to know you more over these last few weeks. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. So, thank you so much for coming in and joining this episode. And we'd love to hear your comments and whatever you might have a little bit of a question that, okay, what's going on with me?
Yeah.
Feel free to write down the comments under the video. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Are you really taking care of yourself and making self-care a priority? Is that enough? Whether you are facing the roller coaster of hormones, navigating emotional ups and downs, or feeling like society overlooks women as we age, self-care becomes your secret weapon in reclaiming your body, energy, and joy. I don't believe in needed suffering. I believe in taking charge of our own self-care, nurturing the inner fountain of youth within us. Because guess what? We all have the power to shine and radiate with more vitality, no matter our age. That's why I invite you to join me in Miyako's Self-Care Sister of the Week. It's like receiving a gentle nudge every week, inspiring you to nurture your body and mind during this transformative phase of life. Together, we'll explore my personal tips, practical strategies, and timeless wisdom to help you navigate the journey with energy, grace, and unwavering confidence. And the best part is, it's my gift to you. This incredible resource is absolutely free. Are you ready to embark on this empowering journey with me? Join me from the link below and embrace your life with renewed vitality and joy. See you on the inside. Thank you so much for watching and take care.